National Police Commissioner Khehla Sitole, as we've just told you, has been fired. Sitole's last day in office will be the 31st of March. But what does this mean for the SAPS? Well, Chris de Kock, a crime analyst, joins me now from Pretoria for more on this. Just, Chris, before we go any further, just your own sense of reaction at the news of the dismissal of Khehla Sitole. What a loss or good riddance?
No, sorry to say, but I think it's good riddance. Actually, I think it comes much too late. It should have happened much earlier. I mean, the crime figures, my bottom line is always just the crime figures. I mean, for years, this commissioner did not deliver any significant decrease in murder, which is our most reliable crime trend. And he's not only in control for policing, real policing, since when he was appointed in 2017. You must remember before that, from 2013, when the crime trends turned around, he was actually the Deputy National Commissioner responsible for policing.
How much of that, though, is fair criticism on him? Specifically when you're talking about the crime rates not coming down, to what extent does he bear responsibility for that in as far as the operational and management aspects of it are concerned? Whereas the other angle of the story could say, you know, I can only manage and deploy what you give me. If you don't give me the resources, you don't give me the police officers, there's no hope that I'll be able to turn the situation around. So the balance in terms of responsibility for the crime situation not improving.
Well, you know, if you don't have all the resources, you have to adapt your policing accordingly. And you have to police smarter. You have to have your intelligence in a row so that you can base your policing on top of your intelligence. And intelligence, I'm not always referring to intelligence that you get from sources and so on. It is just your everyday analysis of your crime pattern in the station, the reasons why your crime is happening at that spot, at that time of the day. And then even if you only have now 3 vehicles and not the 8 vehicles that you should have, or 18 that you should have, then you will still achieve some success. And I think history is talking for itself. I don't even have to talk. If we look at 2003, 2003, that year, and we go up to 2012, 11, 12, there was a constant decrease in many crimes, and especially in murder, which, as I say, is our most reliable crime trend. In those days, the police also struggled with resource problems, but it was smart policing by the late Commissioner Salebi, and then by the man who is now the Minister, the General Khehla. And then come 2011-12, and from that year, things just turned around, and we have now gone full circle. This year, when we are finished with this year in 6 weeks' time, we will have gone full circle and we will be back at 24,000 to 25,000 murders.
But surely, Chris de Kock, we should be worried about this trend of police commissioners not completing their term in office. I mean, I can't even recall. I suppose you'd have to go back to George Fivers, if I'm not remembering that wrongly, to find a police commissioner who completed their term.
Yeah, well, that is a worrying trend. We know that the late Commissioner Salebi, which I think was a very good commissioner, he had some problems with corruption or corrupt relationships, unfortunately. And then we came to the person who is now the minister. And again, there was some problems with buildings and so on, although later it was found that that thing doesn't hold water. But that was much later when he was already fired or suspended from the police. And unfortunately, then we had a lot of acting commissioners. Well, we had Commissioner Khehla, she didn't complete, but well, there was reasons for that as well. So it is a worrying trend. But I say still, even the two who didn't finish their term, the man who's now the minister and the late Commissioner Salebi, he finished his first term and then he was appointed, it was extended. The fact of the matter is, at least they had a positive effect on crime and policing.
And is it your sense then that our thirst for accountability for these failures in crime prevention and crime combating, including the July unrest, that thirst has now been quelled with the expulsion of Khehla Sitole? Should it stop there or should it go even further?
Yeah, well, I hear the politicians and I hear the DA and I hear the Freedom Front and about everybody else and the media, basically, also saying, no, but the minister must also go. I think, and that's my personal view, that will be a very big mistake. I think what should happen now is they should appoint a person to the head of police. It can be from inside the police or outside the police, but that person must have a passion to fight crime and must focus on crime. That is what the public want, nothing else. And then they must overhaul the top structure of the police and the total structure of the police, if possible. And then, well, I believe if that is the case, and under the leadership of the current minister, I think we will go forward.
That's an interesting take, Chris de Kock, that you would prefer a situation where we retain the current minister but fix the leadership of the police. And I'm curious because part of the equation here has been this dynamic between Begitele and Khehla Sitole, and many commentators saying that Begitele himself is not entirely blameless in this situation. The accusation always seems to come around to an allegation that says he's pretty much acting as a police commissioner as opposed to being someone who facilitates the environment and the policy space and equips the police commissioner to then be able to carry out the operations on the ground. So it's an interesting take, that one of yours.
Yeah, well, I believe that the minister have got a lot of experience as a police commissioner. He was also MEC for safety and security in KwaZulu-Natal, which is a difficult province when it comes to crime. And he have got that experience, and he is quite passionate that crime should go down. Now, I can understand, I know it's not according to the law, he should not interfere in the operations of the police and so on. But when they appointed him, I already in an interview like this said, that he will find it difficult not to interfere if he gets frustrated. And I think he's frustrated, like myself and many other people, like actually all South Africans, that we don't turn the tide of crime around. As long as we don't turn that crime tide around, there is a problem with investments in South Africa, with our economic growth, with everything else. And so I have this view that we should not go further and now also get rid of the minister, because where are we going to find all these people to replace all of these people that we now want to see going? All
right. Chris de Kock, I've got to thank you for your time and your insights here on South Africa Tonight on ENCA, weighing in there on the dismissal of the police commissioner, Khehla Sitole, by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Well, they're saying it's by mutual agreement that contract has been terminated as effective at the end of March.